Welcome to the Quick Start webinar. If you're logging in for hey, who's here for the first time? Is there anyone that's on this webinar for the first time? This is actually number 52, the 52nd time that almost in a row that we've done this Quick Start webinar, which is pretty cool. We've only missed 4th of July, and then right around Christmas time, I think I couldn't hop on. I didn't have any internet. So that's how committed we are to our game. That's how committed we are to our craft, right? Crazy week in real estate for us. Crazy week. We got a real beautiful house, the most prestigious part of downtown Columbia, South Carolina, under contract. And, we're really excited about this one. For my folks in California, my folks in, New York and, Seattle, right? I know you guys. I know Chicago. Maybe it's another day, another walk in the park, but this is about a $1.4 million after repair value, which is a lot for Columbia. Medium home price here is right around 300,000. So we're excited for that one. We're excited for that one. All right, cool. So what's up, everybody? Can you see my screen? Just give me a big oh yeah if it says PMC Quickstart here in the chat box. I've got the chat box pulled up. I got the participants pulled up. All right, cool. Thanks, Nick. Nick Lucas, everyone. Nick is a part of the Private Money Club. He is one of our success team members. And so any questions that you have that maybe I miss, that I don't see in the chat, Nick is your guy. So you can message him directly. Nick, put your information up there too. So if someone wants to get a hold of Nick, you can actually text him. So you're not just chatting on a Zoom call. You can email the team, and you can even book a one-on-one session with a PMC team member like Nick, probably would be Nick, and they can walk you through what the Private Money Club is, how it works, things like this, right? And you see the links there. Wow, that's like that's extensive, that text right there. I love it. I also teach a class for the Private Money Club, and it's called the Accelerator Program. So if you're like, what's the Accelerator Program? What's this orientation there in the chat box? March 5th, and the class starts March 10th. That's for a class that we call the Private Money Club Accelerator. So if someone's looking to collapse the timeframes of learning, get things done a little bit quicker, just if you're like me and you're weird and you like learning about this stuff, that might be something that you want to look into if you want to do better and be a better borrower for your lenders, or be a better lender for your borrowers. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Quick Start webinar. Let's kick it off. We do this every single Thursday at 1:00 Eastern time. Coach Noah Harris here, coming to you live from South Carolina. Where's everybody coming in from? Text it in the chat box here. Right now, we've got how many people, Nick? We've got right around 60 people continuing to log in. And I just think it's so cool. All over the US and Canada. I've been seeing some folks out of Ontario lately on the calls, which is awesome to see. Super cool. Super cool. I love it. Hey, Robert, what's up, man? All right, cool. Florida, Long Island. I love it. If you have any questions for me, or you want to type in the chat box directly to me, you can just put host or panelist. But if you want like everyone to see what you're typing, because this is a pretty good networking opportunity, even though it's virtual, you make sure that little blue box says everybody. All right, make sure that says everyone. And that way everybody can see what you're saying and doing, right? Which is good. So, all right, cool. Here we go. Anytime. This is important. This is really important. It's so important. I'm going to do this a bunch of times to like get your attention. Woo, woo, woo. Here we go. This business is risky, right? So anytime that I teach a class, anytime I'm on a webinar and I'm talking about private money lending, yeah, Tracy, red alert, red alert. This is risky business. If you don't know what you're doing, please don't lend money. And if you are a crappy real estate investor, and I don't mean that in a mean way, maybe you're just crappy because you don't know what you're doing yet, right? You're just getting started. You're just getting your bearings, right? I don't know. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. But if you don't have it together, don't borrow money. Don't do a deal yet. Okay? Like if you ain't ready, you ain't ready. And that includes people who are experienced. I've seen folks, and this is really kind of hitting home today. Yesterday, I got a phone call from someone, and they were like, man, I lent money to someone. And I was like, okay, well, did you do this, this, and this? And they're like, no, I didn't do that. I only did this. And it's like, come on now, right? Come on, come on. And you just hate to see someone not get paid back or have a deal not go the way that it was supposed to go. And look, here's the thing with real estate. It never goes exactly how we want it to go. And I'm speaking the truth right now. I hope you guys can appreciate this. Like real estate investors, we know this. If we say the closing is going to be on Tuesday, we're thinking in our minds, oh, there's a 50% chance it's going to be on Wednesday. That's just how it is. There's so many different things that could happen in real estate. So it's really good, really important that we are as educated as possible around lending and around borrowing and around real estate investing and becoming better at communicating with our lenders and with our borrowers. And that's the whole point of this webinar. Okay. This business is why am I doing this? Well, Stephen Nagy, Chris Naugle, they asked me to do this. And I said, hey, what's the goal for us when we do these quick start webinars? And they said, education, 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 right? As long as you're teaching people and not just that private money lending exists, not just that private money club exists, but really what are some of the best ways to go about it? What are some of the yellow flags or red flags that people should avoid and do? And sometimes it's not necessarily malicious. It's just, sometimes people just don't know what they don't know. A big reason why I like teaching about this topic is because I had friends that lost money, private money lending, and they came to me and said, hey, Noah, can you help? And I said, well, did you do this, 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 and this? And they said, I didn't know I had to do all of that. Did you ask these questions, and these questions? I didn't even think to ask that. Did you talk about this up front before doing things and wiring funds? No, I didn't think so. I kind of feel like, you know what, I gotta get out there and teach this stuff. I truly believe, like, I don't mean to be super negative this morning, Nick. All right. So hopefully you're not reporting back to Chris like Noah's like, what's up with Noah? He's super grumpy. I'm actually in a really good mood, but I want to make sure that we're doing things the right way. Everything in the community, we want to, rising tides raise all ships. If we're all doing things to the best of our abilities, it's just going to make things even more awesome. I would not be anywhere near where I am today if it wasn't for my private money lenders. That's a fact. And I'll tell you, I like to think that my private money lenders can say the same thing about me. This is a win-win relationship. Where else can a person put money to work? I pay double digits at a nice rate of return and have it secured by real estate that, when done properly, is worth much more, right? On the flip side of that, where else can a borrower get all the funds that they need to purchase a renovation project without having to pull money out of their own pocket or without having to go to a traditional bank? So this is a super cool way for people to create these amazing win-win situations, but we got to learn how to do it the right way, right, Nick? We got to learn how to do it the right way, the right way. Please read is a good example of CYAs. Yeah. Here's what's cool. This is a good learning lesson too. And we've talked about this. If you are a borrower on this call and you want to be great at borrowing funds, what you got to do is think of all the things that could go wrong and then have the answers to what you would do. What have you put in place? When you buy real estate, do you get it at a discount? What type of discount? How big of a discount, right? If the market goes down 5%, what have you done on the acquisition side to ensure that you're safe and your lenders are safe? Because guess what? A good lender is going to ask that, right? Right, guys? So you gotta talk about the risks. If I'm in a one-on-one meeting with a private money lender, I hope they ask those tough questions because they're not tough, because I've already thought about everything. I've already planned. I have all these safety nets in place. So when someone says to me, well, what happens if the house doesn't sell for the price that you're thinking your real estate agent's telling you? Oh, well, this is what we do. Blah, 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 blah. This is why we did this. Da, 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 da. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Boom, home run. Right, Nick? We knocked it out of the park. Now you're building credibility, you're building trust, and you come off as someone that's more knowledgeable than the person who isn't talking about the risks. I saw this ad on Facebook. We're going to get into it. I saw this ad on Facebook for this group that did a lot of, they had private lenders and things like, and it was all rainbows. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, there's, people got to know what they're doing. You can't just start borrowing and lending, right? So we got to learn. That's what we're doing here today. So 52nd time that we've held this webinar. We do this every single Thursday at 1 o'clock. Over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about the importance of presentations and things like this, how to elevate. And my belief is that if I'm a borrower and I'm putting together a presentation for someone in the private money club, if I'm hopping on a webinar, the Money Club Monday with Stephen Nagy, and presenting in front of all of the members of private money club, right? Getting in front of the right people at the right time to get my deals funded. I got to make sure I'm putting my best foot forward, and I'm providing all of the different slides, all of the different information that is going to allow someone to be able to make a good decision, yes or no, on my project, right? So we've been talking about that the last couple of weeks, the presentation slides. We talked about the market recently, overview of the market, your market. Why are you buying in the city that you're buying in, the neighborhood that you're buying in, the street that you're buying on, things like this. What's your niche? Niche is rich. We've been talking about these things here. We also talked about the credibility, and I've been leaving this in here the last couple of weeks as a recap because, going back to the risk and things like that, when I teach the accelerator class for Private Money Club, the very first thing that we talk about is how to build your team. You can know what to say, how to say it. You can sound great. You can have the best Facebook that looks like you're a rock star, whatever, right? But if you don't have a team, you got nothing. All right, in my eyes, when it comes to credibility. So if you're on this call and you're a lender, I would be asking people, who's your attorney? Who's your title company? Who's your real estate agent? Who's your contractor? Who's the home inspector? What type of insurance are you going to be getting on this property right here, right? All of these things. So what's cool is, let me ask a question here. I know we have a lot of new people on the call, but how many of you are brand new to real estate? Is anyone that's like fairly new to real estate and you're like, man, I like the idea of flipping houses. Like I would love to make an extra chunk of cash over here or create some mailbox money. Is there anybody that's new? Kind of anyone new? What do you think? Okay, cool. Elitza. All right, cool. I love it. Elitza says, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Elitza says I'm new. Heidi Ann says I'm new. All right, cool. So if I was Heidi Ann, if I was Simon, Sherry, right? The very first thing that I would recommend is that before you go and start having conversations on Private Money Club, or before you go having conversations with people at your local real estate clubs or wherever, your family and friends, I would figure out, okay, who's going to be my real estate attorney? Who's doing my closings when I buy a house? Who's doing the title work, right? Real estate company or title company, real estate attorney. Who is my real estate agent going to be? Who am I getting my data from? Am I just looking on Zillow? And what I would do, you guys, is I would find the best of the best, right? I would find the best of the best when it comes to real estate agents. I want the top 1% of all the real estate agents for that neighborhood that I'm fixing and flipping in, right? That's how. And the whole point is I want to be able to brag to my private money lenders about who my squad is. And if I get all of this set up in advance, it just makes my projects better too. So that's why I'm telling you guys, lenders, you need to be asking, who's your contractor? Are they licensed? Are they insured, right? Who's the property manager? I want you interviewing people that you're lending money to find out if they in fact do have this all figured out. One of the biggest things that I see that gets messed up or screwed up when it comes to borrowing and lending is the real estate investor doesn't have their contractors figured out yet. Like they're so focused on getting the funds and buying the house that they haven't done any planning yet around what they're going to do to the project, who they're going to hire, so on and so forth. So then what happens is they buy the house and now they're calling around trying to find out, okay, who's my contractor going to be? And good contractors don't start tomorrow, right? So good contractors, you got to have weeks, sometimes months out in advance, depending on your market, on the calendar, right? So have they taken the time to do that? Because if you start your project 30 days late, you're already making it more difficult on yourself, right? So step number one, didn't mean to get too deep into this, but I mean, is this good stuff? Are we learning things here? Right. And these are some of the things I've just been trying to drive home to the community and to the students in my accelerator course and things like this, which is good. Yeah, if someone's new, it's even more important. That's right, Shane. That's right. And what I'm gonna go back to that. That's a good point, Shane. Shane says if someone's new, Noah's making a good point. He's laying it out. What I'm also going to tell you is that, yeah, it's going to help you if you're new, right, to make things smoother. But if I was a lender and I was working with someone who was new to me, like maybe they've done 100 deals, but I don't know them, right? Let's just say we had a great interaction in Private Money Club and we were messaging back and forth and our goals seemed aligned and things like this. I would still ask them these questions because, well, that person isn't necessarily new to real estate. They're new to me. So as a lender, I'm still asking these questions. Hey, can you tell me about, your business and what it looks like, right? This is just interviewing 101, right? Chris Naugle always calls the Private Money Club like the dating website for borrowers and lenders, right? So, if this was like match.com, before you get married and tie the knot, you go on some dates, right? And during those dates, you talk about, hey, tell me about yourself, tell me about your family, tell me what you do for a living, right? What do you like to do for fun? You're asking questions. So with Private Money Club, it's the same thing, right? Hopefully you're having conversations with people before you tie the knot or wire the funds in this case. Does that make sense, guys? I've been telling people that this is all about how many conversations you have, right? So for my real estate investors on the call right now, let me ask you a question. For my real estate investors on the call, how many offers do you need to make before you hear one yes? Do you track that? Do you have like a KPI, or did you just kind of, is there a roundabout number, right? What's your mindset around making offers? I'll ask it again. Type it in the chat box. How many do you need to make before you hear your first yes? I love it. Bobby Hamilton says 100. Charles says 5. Patrick says 50 to 100. So I grew up on the Robert Kiyosaki philosophy that you got to make 100 offers to find your diamond in the rough, your needle in the haystack. What's cool about Charles? Charles might have a very specific marketing campaign, right? Charles might have a very specific marketing campaign and buying criteria. He may only work with, maybe Charles has a probate attorney that he has a direct relationship with, and that person sends him leads, and 1 out of 5 ends up being a good deal for him, right? So maybe that's a little bit different, right? As many as it takes. I love it. I love it. All right, cool. Yeah, that's the spirit, Heidi Ann. That's the spirit. We also talked about the perfect loan proposal. This is a tool within Private Money Club that a person can download, and it actually kind of puts together like a pamphlet, a booklet about you, your company, and things like this, because you should put something together that potential lender can take a look at, read, learn about you, learn about your business, learn about what types of properties you buy, what it looks like to work with you. And these were some of the things that we talked about putting in the perfect loan proposal. All right. So recap, there you go. If you're just tuning in, we've got about 90 people on the call right now, which is awesome to see. Coach Noah Harris here. If you're just meeting me for the first time, I'm out of Columbia, South Carolina. Lots of times I use a company called Revive Homes LLC, which is my house flipping company that was established back in 2013. I'm almost exclusive to private lending. I started out using hard money. Nothing wrong with hard money. Hard money has a special place in my heart. They got me going. I called one of my hard money lenders yesterday, actually, to see what was going on. It's always good to just, to keep those relationships going. Big reason why I called that private money lender is I had a lot of questions. This is totally off track, Nick, but I feel like the people got to know. I called my hard money lending preferred hard money lender, and I said, hey, do you do second position liens? And because I have a lot of people who are, that's what they do. And they said, yes, we do, which was awesome to see, because there's a lot of hard money lending companies out there who don't allow second position mortgages, right? So if you're just like, no, what do you mean? What's the difference? This, that, or the other? Well, a hard money lending company right now might lend, let's just as an example, say 80% of the purchase price, and then they lend you all the repair costs. But they want to make sure that you have 20% down payment, right? So they're going to say, hey, we're going to lend 80% of the purchase price. We'll help you cover the repairs, but you got to come up with the rest. And then sometimes what people will do is they'll say, okay, great, sign me up, Mr. Hard Money Lender. And then they'll come over here and then they'll find a private money lender to help them with that 20% difference. Some hard money lending companies don't allow that. But what I see is a lot of people still doing it. And when they do it, they kind of do it under the rug, or they do it off to the side. They don't let the hard money lending company know that that's happening. And anytime that happens, I just feel like it's not 100% transparent. I'm not saying, it's unethical or something like that. But what I am saying is that go find a hard money lending company that allows you to have second positions, so there's no surprises, right? I like it when private lenders fund deals in second position for people who are using harder money lenders to fund the majority of the costs involved, right? I like that. But I would prefer if my students at least work directly with hard money lending company that allowed those second positions to happen. So everyone's on the same page. There's no surprises, right? So I don't know. I went off on a tangent, Nick. Sorry about that. But yeah, almost exclusive to private money lending here now for around 12 years. My goal for everyone on this call is to help create a 100% track record, whether you're a borrower or a lender. That's what it's all about. I think that's our most proud thing that we're able to say, 100% track record with our lenders. And a lot of what I teach on these calls and then the accelerator course, I believe have had a direct impact on that track record. This is relationship based, but don't get it twisted, please. Look, here's the deal. You can meet the nicest person in the world, but the asset has to make sense. The house has to make sense. The whole beautiful thing about private money is we lend here and the value of the property is up here, right? If anything happens to our funds, we can foreclose, right? And go down that road, but we have collateral. We have collateral. I'm going to talk more about that. All right. So welcome to the party. Coach Noah here. And if you want help with this, you can see there's a link in there where it says book a call. It has the Private Money Club website, has Nick's number there. If you want help, if you want to take a course with me, you can click the link and they'll enroll you into the class and help you learn all about it. But if I was a person right now that needed money, here's what I would do. Here's what I would do. I'm going to skip this slide because we're getting caught up here, right? We keep it real estate on these calls. Participation is encouraged. If you got a question, the best thing to do is go into the Q&A section and ask it. And I'll take a break halfway through and at the end to answer questions. If you ask a question in the chat, sometimes I don't see it. Nick is in the chat though. He's my co-pilot. Nick Lucas is part of the PMC team. So when you hear the term private money lender, what do you think of? What do you think of? This is important, especially for everyone that's on the call that's new, because guess what? Not everyone knows what private money lending is. So let's talk about this so that we can be better at communicating how people can help us and how we can help other people too. Chris Stokes coming in hot. A person. I love it. Patrick says secure and flexible. Yeah, so they want their funds secured and they're flexible, right? That's cool. Yeah, flexibility is good. Individual who lends money. I like how Bobby says person, right? Individual who lends money, or maybe that person's LLC or that person's IRA or something like that, which is cool. A friend, an uncle. What a great uncle to have, Arlene. I love it. Individual who lends money. Yeah. So the big thing that is important for us to realize and to kind of go into our conversations with, not a lot of people know what private money lending is because they've never been taught that they could do it before, right? We're always taught, hey, if you want to invest, it's the stock market, it's your 401k, it's an annuity, it's a CD, right? There's no sign at the bank that says, oh, would you like to be a private money lender and make double-digit rates of return and have it secured by real estate? You don't see anything like that. So for a lot of people, they don't understand what it is or things like this. So it's really important that we help people realize that they can be a private money lender. I truly believe that every single person I have an interaction with, my kids, friends, parents, my people that I meet out in the field, other real estate agents, other investors, family, every single person could be a private money lender. If not today, then in the future. That's my mindset that I have going into all of these conversations. When it comes to Private Money Club and on this webinar here, when we say private lender, we're talking about a person that's making the decision. So just like Real Cook said, non-institutional, right? So it's not, if you look at like a Wells Fargo or Bank of America, they have a lot of boxes they need to check when they make these loans. They're not going to fund a house that smells like Cappy, has green carpet, pink toilets, and avocado refrigerators that are 80 years old, right? And broken out windows and a tree through the roof, right? But to a real estate investor, that sounds beautiful. We love the smell of cat pee, right? But traditional banks don't. So just like my friend said a little bit earlier, it's all about the flexibility and understanding and being able to articulate the plan. All right. All right, cool. So here we go. What are your goals? Roll call. Lucas. This is Nick Lucas. This is probably my favorite part of the webinar. I just love seeing this. Where are the borrowers at? So if you're on this call right now and you're a real estate investor and you love the idea of using other people's funds to fund your real estate deals and doing it the right way, rewarding them with a nice interest rate, just type borrower in the chat box. Let's see it. Let's do a roll call. Where are my real estate investors at? I see a couple of your names on here. Chris Stokes, right? Chris is double dipping though. All right, there we go. All right, Michael, Illinois borrower, Velma borrower, Chris borrower and a lender, Sherry borrower. Hey Sherry, what's up? Yeah, so the borrowers are here. They're coming in, right? Looking to stay sharp, looking to make some connections. I love it. Now here's a fun part. Here's the fun part. Real Cook says neither yet. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. How many of you are an aspiring real estate borrower? All right, there we go. Now they're coming in. The hands are being raised. All right, cool. Now this is the fun part because we've probably got about, I don't know, what do we got in here, Nick? How many we got? 85 people on the call right now. So what's cool is, when you're not in the private money club or around this campfire, it's hard to imagine that there's this many private money lenders out there. So I have real estate investor friends that are in my hometown, right? Just good friends of mine. They still use hard money lenders. They still use their own cash to fund deals. They think it's absolutely bonkers that I have a list of a couple dozen people that I work with regularly and communicate with regularly for private lending deals. Like, they're like, who are these people? Who are these people? They look at me like I'm best friends with like a Sasquatch or something, right? So, but let's prove them wrong. Let's prove them wrong. If you're on this call right now and you love the idea of making a double-digit rate of return and having it secured by real estate, I'm just going to say, let's just call you a lender right now. Where are my lenders at? Type lender in the chat box. Lender. Let's see. All right, cool. Oh, I love it. Shane says lender, short term, typically with a clear exit strategy. Yep, that sounds good. I like that. Lender. Lynette. Hey, Andrew's on here. Cool. Juan's on here. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Steve, lender. So those are coming in, right? It's awesome. It's awesome to see. Now, is it as simple, right? Is it as simple as someone like Pat, like, let's see, like Brian just shooting over a message to Lynette and then you guys are automatically doing business together? Is it that simple? Not quite. Not quite, but Private Money Club allows us to have the platform where we can start meeting people. And I tell you what, Nick, you can attest to this. We could probably get you on here for a testimonial, if not this week, but next week. But oh my goodness, what was it like, Nick, before Private Money Club? You can just type it in the chat box, where you didn't have the platform. You had to actually go out and have good old fashioned face to face conversations with people looking at you like maybe they're strangers, and you're doing your elevator pitch and you're like, how would you like to make a double digit rate of return and have it secured by real estate worth much more? Have you ever thought about becoming a private money lender? And them looking at you like you got 8 heads, right? That's what it was, a struggle, right? It's a struggle. So what's cool about this platform here, and I'm going to share it with you. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about and how it kind of looks. Let me show you.
Your real estate business lives and dies by the network and the connections that you make. I mean, after all, your network, well, it's your net worth. That's what you've always heard, right? If that's an area where you desire improvement, well, Private Money Club, it's for you. PMC saves you precious time and money by bringing the real estate world, well, right to you, right in the palm of your hand. So get in on the action, like so many others have, by going to privatemoneyclub.com and sign up.
What's nice is you're fishing in a pond where everybody wants to bite. There's something for everybody. If you're a borrower or lender, you're in the right place. Like, if I want to buy a bicycle, I'm going to go to the bike shop, right? I'm not going to go to the 7-Eleven. They're not going to sell bicycles there, right? So if I'm looking for private money, I'm going to go to the Private Money Club because everybody there understands what it is that I need, want, and have, right? So here's what I would tell you guys to do. Is there anyone on here who has a deal right now that is looking for funding? Is there anyone on here right now that's like, man, I'm new to this webinar. I'm looking for funding. I see one right there, 1.9 multifamily property in North Carolina. I see someone here. Bobby has a couple, right? So here's what I would do. And Bobby says, hey, how much is Private Money Club? Well, if I was Bobby, or if I was like Bobby and I had properties, or my goal is to have properties under contract at some point in 2025, here's what I would do. I would go become a member of PMC. So Bobby, PMC, you can join for free. You can join for free and you can post one deal in Private Money Club, I believe, for free. I'm a big believer that every single person on this call, all 89 people, should have a Private Money Club profile by the time we get off of this webinar. So while I'm talking, you can go on your phone. Nick can put up the link. You can click privatemoneyclub.com and go through. They ask you some questions, right? Now, Premier membership is a little bit different. It comes out in, I don't know how much it is now. Nick could probably help you, but I would schedule a call with Nick. A couple $100 a month is what it equates to, if that. Everyone should join for free. You can join for free. and then test the waters, see what it's about. And then at some point, I would schedule what's called a blueprint. I'm going to type it in the chat box here. Blueprint call with Nick or one of the team members, and they can give you a tour and show you around and show you how to build those relationships and how to post your deals and do all of these things, right? So if you're a Premier member right now, type Premier member in the chat box for us. Let's see how many Premier members we have right now. And I know everyone, some of you are driving, some of you are listening while you're at work, or maybe you're on the treadmill, safety first. Okay. But if you can, type it in the chat box, Premier member. Okay, cool. If you're a free member right now, you're still kind of in your free member time frame. I don't know if there's even a time limit, Nick, honestly, but if you're a free member, type free in the chat box. That's cool too. Right. All right. Heidi Ann says, I am a new free member. That's awesome. So welcome, Heidi Ann. So here's the action step. So if I was like Bobby and I'm like, man, I got some money I want to put to work, or I have funds that I need to put to, or I need money because I got a deal, this is what I would do. I would do these 4 things. Okay. These 4 things, and I'll show them to you here in a minute. Number 1, I would go and I would create a profile on Private Money Club. That's mine. So after you create your profile, you can go find me, and you and me can be friends on Private Money Club. But that's my picture there, right? I would then present the opportunity. So if you are a Premier member, I'd say the biggest difference between Premier membership and free membership is the ability to present your deals live, not just post them on the platform, to the community. And what's on a webinar that happens every Monday. It's called Money Club Monday, right? So if you have a deal and you're a Premier member, present on Money Club Monday. Get some eyes on it. Number 3, I'd post the deal. I'll show you how to do this here on the next slide. And number 4, I would schedule what they call a blueprint call with one of the PMC team members. So whether it's Nick Lucas, or whether it's Jose Harkin, whether it's one of the other guys or girls, it's an awesome team, and they can go show you around and show you really how to use it. There's anyone going to the bus tour this weekend? There's like a boot camp, like boots on the ground camp in Atlanta, Georgia, and in Macon, Georgia. Is anyone going to that? That's on the call with Mike Puglisi? I'm just curious to see. I know it's kind of exclusive. If you are, let me know. It's going to be a great time. You guys are going to have a blast. So let me show you here what Private Money Club is looking like. I'll give you some advice. So if you're like our friend Bobby there, and you got, hey, I got 2 deals, I'm looking for funding, I'm going to share with you what I would do right now. And there's no guarantees, right? I think you guys are smarter than that. You know that. But what would I do to get the most eyes on my deals and to find the right people, the right relationships? Remember, it's about how many conversations are you having? How many people are you meeting, right? That's what we're focusing on. Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Give me a big, oh yeah, in the chat box. If you can see my screen, let me know. All right, good. Awesome. So this is the platform, super clean. If you haven't been in here yet, click on the link, go ahead and create your free profile, schedule a call with Nick, right? So this is what they call like the community page, and you can belong to different groups and things like this. But first things first, you go in and introduce yourself on the page. Kind of has this like social media vibe with it, social media for real estate type of thing. But all right, so here's what I told you to do. Number 1, create your profile, right? So I'm gonna come up here. I'll show you what mine looks like because I already created mine. So click on it there. All right, cool. So you can see I got my picture there and things like this. This is a new site. I did have a few reviews, but when they switched over to the new site, I think I might have lost a couple of them. But all right, so here's the picture here. Now you'll notice these little badges. Okay. So as a Premier member, one of the benefits of having a Premier membership is you get this little badge here that shows that you're a Premier membership. So you're in it to win it, right? You're in it for the long haul. You're not just poking your head around and seeing what it's all about. So when you're ready, jump ship, get the Premier membership so you can get the badge next to your name. And then these little check marks here, these are certified lender course that I took and a certified borrower course that I took. You can click over here, and if you click the learning button, you can see there's some classes, lender certification, borrower certification. There's some additional tools with videos on how to use contract law class and things like that, right? So when you complete those courses, I did take the contract law, the lender certification, the borrower certification, you get you get those little badges next to your name. And I do think that is important. I would say that. Now down here, there's a section, it's the bio section. So you fill this out. Okay. Put your name, information, what your business is like, what's the best way to contact you, things like that. If you're serious, if you're just dabbling, whatever. But if I'm talking to Bobby, because Bobby's like, this is awesome, I have 2 deals, I would fill this out, my friend. I would fill this out. I would be very specific, because if I saw your deal, I would click on your profile. And if your profile, for lack of a better term, sucks, there's nothing there, there's no picture, it's not filled out. If you didn't take 30 minutes and put some effort into it, I'm passing, right? I'm going to be like, this person's not in it to win it. So do a good job. You can upload pictures up to your profile. So for what I did is I put past projects, so people can kind of see, what type of work we do. I have a slide there about my wife and I, meet the team type of slide, and in our market of where we invest here in Columbia, South Carolina. So that's pretty cool, right? And you can see how active a person is, what posts they've made, and things like this, which is awesome. Pretty cool. So then in the deal section here, it's it's like the Facebook marketplace, but for real estate deals. Not as annoying. You don't have to meet the people in a well-lit area, you know what I mean, to do the exchange like you do on Facebook marketplace. Maybe that was a bad analogy, Nick. Remind me never to say that again. So this is all about the deals, right? So you can post your deal. This is cool. First position. This looks like a good one. Let's click on it. First position lien, 50% loan to ARV. So once it's all fixed up, that house is going to be worth 800,000, right? So that's attractive. Let's see what's going on with this thing here. Robert Manger. Okay, cool. So then you come in, he's got the details, 9%. I like it. Bedrooms, baths, right? This property is located in a golf course community, exceptional amenities. Pittsboro area is booming. This is a ground up construction project, currently 75% complete with all permits and inspections in place. Okay. I like it. I like deals like this. I've done deals like this. I like this. Now, I'm not telling you to do it, but what I will tell you to do, if you're a lender and you want to put some money to work, I might message this person by coming over here and clicking I'm interested. And then I can reach out to him directly, right? Or if he's got a phone number or email down here that he prefer, he can reach out that way. Now, here's what's cool. You can click on Robert's profile, see what he's all about, right? Okay, cool. He's got this filled out, right? I like it. I don't see the badges. Robert. What's going on? Take those classes, right? We need more flair up in here. But you get the idea here, right? So now if I wanted to message him, and here's what I would do too. Like if you see a deal, it's like, wow, that might make sense. But maybe you're like at 300 or you only have 200,000. It still might be worth having a conversation with someone. You know what I mean? Like it's all about finding people that do good business. And I can't speak for Robert, but you're interviewing him and you're asking him, hey, tell me about your business. Tell me about your experience. Tell me about this project. Tell me about this area. Do you have scopes of work put together? Do you have a real estate attorney? Have you done the title search? You're asking your questions, right? And maybe if not this one, maybe the next one. But now you've started to build that relationship, which is a little bit better, right? Good way to do it. So that's pretty cool, right? And you can come down here and you can search members and things like that and all of this stuff here, right? So this is a little platform. Again, I don't do as good a job as Nick Lucas does with this. If you really want a really good tour, I recommend, it's right here. It's on this slide. I recommend every single person schedule a blueprint call with one of the team members. Okay. And you can do that by clicking the link. So if you're on the call and you're like, hey, I want to learn more. I want to create my free profile and I could see myself doing this. I'm telling you what, if you're someone on this call right now and you've been shopping for money and you've been looking at hard money lending companies, I mean, if I took the amount of deals that I did last year and calculated the interest rate of what would have been had I paid 13% interest and 3 points just to do the deal, not including any other type of administrative fees of using hard money versus what I paid to do the deals I did last year using private money, it would be right around enough tuition to send my son to the University of South Carolina for not one, but maybe 2 or 3 different degrees. So it's a lot. It's a big, it's the amount of savings. Now I'm not saying my lenders are like, shut up. What are you talking about? So I do like typically on my deals anywhere from 8 to 12% interest, and I typically don't pay points. But I think that's a lot has to do with like my experience and things like this. Right, I got it down pretty good. Now, if I was working with someone brand new and they're like, "Hey, Noah, like that sounds great," but I usually like to make more around the 12 to 14% mark. And personally, I've never worked with you before, so I don't know what that experience is going to be like. I would respect that. I'd say, you know what, I might come up a little bit more because I could see value in us doing business together for the next 10 years or something along, right? It's all negotiable. So that's what's really cool about Private Money Club, right? And working with private money lenders. Deals are unique too. I saw someone put something along the lines of like more flexibility, right? When it comes to private money, right? So in my wife and I's business, we do a lot of mobile and manufactured homes. And there's not a lot of companies out there that will fund manufactured home flips. But for us, those are the best deals. We flip those things like pancakes. That's easy breezy in and out, and the profits are good, and it's a real nice product. People really seem to like them. They can get financing and things like this. But for us, we have to use private money, right? So there's that level of flexibility there, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Chris knows about the mobile homes. She loves them too, right, Chris? So guys, if you're interested in learning more with me, on more of a, and I hate using the word intimate, but more of like a small group setting, right? Small group setting. I teach a class for Private Money Club. It's called the Accelerator Program. Nick can help you learn all about it. They do discounts for the class if you're also a premier member, and if you buy this, that, or the other at the same time. I try to limit it to 20 people. The next class that we're doing starts March 10th. We do have an orientation that's happening March 5th. So I'm encouraging everyone, if you are interested, to sign up before March 5th so that you can attend the orientation where we talk about one another's goals, get to know the other students in class, things like this. And then we officially kick off on March 10th. It's twice a week for 4 weeks, and then 4 weeks of consulting and help after the courses, the Zoom sessions end, right? If you want to learn more about it, click the link there. These guys will definitely help you out. And Heidi Ann, if you are interested in learning more about mobile homes, like you said in the comments there, my wife, Christy, who's right here, she actually teaches a class called the Mobile Home Take Action Challenge. And it's also a 4-week program that she teaches through Private Money Club, where she basically says, hey, if you want to make money in mobile homes, and I believe I have the blueprint to help you do that. And she gives you action steps and everything to do. They meet twice a week for 4 weeks. I think the next one she's doing is in April. And Nick could probably help you out with that too, right, Nick? So you can click on the link there and you can sign up to take that class. But yeah, and it's also good for lenders like the mobile home investing. Because let me ask you a question. How many of you have like IBC policies, right? I know a lot of people in Private Money Club come from the money multiplier team, and you have your own banking system set up through your whole life insurance. And now you're trying to be smart. And okay, you're like, okay, I paid off my debt. I'm doing my own banking thing. I'm making my 4%, and borrowing and lending for myself. But now I'm ready to put my money to work. I want to borrow for myself and lend it out at 10 or 12, 15%. But you might not. So a lot of people, right? And also Sherry says the solo. So, or that self-directed, all of those things, if you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars, you might not be able to participate in I don't know, a lot of the projects that are in Private Money Club. If you're like, hey, no, I want to put my money to work, but I only got like 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand. And I see a lot of deals, or like the one you just showed me was 400,000. Mobile and manufactured homes are lower price points. And that could be a great option for you, but you still, as a lender, should learn certain things about that asset class when you're going to be lending on them, right? And so that's another reason why we did that deal, right? All right, cool. Yeah, Patrick, IBC and Premier April will be the first deal. I love it. I love it. Good stuff. Great stuff. All right, cool. So make a move. That's what it's all about. We're going to get into elevator pitches here for the next 15 minutes, but I highly encourage every single person on this call to make a move. This is called the Quickstart webinar. It's not called the Eat a Turkey Sandwich and Listen to Noah Harris talk about private money lending webinar. It's all about taking action. All right. So number one, if you don't have a PMC profile, go create it. Go create it. Get a free one going. Number two, schedule a blueprint call with one of the team members to see how they can put a plan together that makes sense for you and your business, whether you're a borrower or whether you're a lender. If you already have a Premier membership, I highly, highly, highly recommend taking both PMC certification courses. If you're a lender, take the borrower one. If you're a borrower, take the lender one. You can set it at a speed that kind of cruises, cruises through a little bit. It's not a cheat code because you still got to take the test at the end of each chapter, right? But if you're like me and you want to be able to go quickly through it and speed it up a little bit, you can do that. Might take an hour or two to complete each course. They're excellent and they're well worth it. The next accelerator course starts March 10th, and we try to limit it to 20 people just so I have lots of availability one-on-one for the coaching on the side as well for people that need help, extra help, which is good. All right, cool. So here we go. Credibility, clarity, confidence, community. That's what we're working on here every single week. That's why we put this stuff together, right? Which is awesome. Simon says, I would like to learn more about the mobile homes. Rebecca says, I have one available near Orangeburg. Not a mobile home, but it's a stick built, 3-bedroom, about 2 acres. And I am PMC page. Okay, cool. Find me, Rebecca, and send it to me. I'm very close to Orangeburg. One of my real estate agents lives in Orangeburg, LaRosa Hart, and she's awesome. I could have her go check it out, which is super cool. Yeah, all right, love it. Yeah, if you're interested in the mobile home course or anything above, just that's Nick's number. Just go ahead and text him, and he can help you out. One of the things that I keep stressing here too is when you get in here and you do have a deal, that the work doesn't stop. Okay. Like you got to put together a nice package that you can present to the lenders. All right. And lenders, if you're on the call, hopefully the borrowers are sending you all of this information and whatever else you might ask them for. Right. So it shouldn't just be, hey, tell me about the deal. Oh, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath and paint, carpet, and that's about it. Right. That's not how we do things. Right. So we want to keep it professional, have a nice cover page, have information about you, summary of the deal, exit strategy. You're confirming, hey, this is going to be my exit strategy, comparable sales. What are the repair estimates, photos, property tax card, a copy of the contract. If you're going to be purchasing this contract, or excuse me, purchasing the property and closing on it, I want to see the contract. What's, confirming what the exit strategy is going to be. Who's the attorney that's doing the title searches and it's going to be doing your closing, right? And a big one down here too, I would say, is the experience worksheet. So if you are experienced, I would highly recommend putting in some sort of Excel spreadsheet, the deals that you are currently working on, the rental properties that you own, and then maybe like your last 10 flips. Why? Because people don't know you. They haven't met you yet. So it's one thing to say, oh, I've done this 50 times. It's like, okay, cool. Well, what, show the addresses, right? Let a person look at the timelines. Let them get a snapshot of what it looks like to work with you as a real estate investor. And if you are a lender, you should absolutely be asking people for some sort of experience worksheet, right? Some sort of template that lists the addresses, what they bought the house for, what they sold it for, how long it took, what the rehab costs were. And then guess what I'm doing if I'm the lender? I'm going online, I'm looking all those addresses up, and I'm making sure that they match. I'm making sure that that person's LLC is on record as having owned that property. I'm inspecting what you expect, right? Inspecting what you expect. That's really important. Okay. If you're moving forward, here's what else we want. We want to have the mortgage or the deed of trust. So what makes private money lending so great is that there's collateral, but there's no collateral if you don't have a mortgage, and it needs to be recorded, right? It needs to be recorded. So make sure if you're lending money, mortgage or deed of trust. And if you're second position, you should still have these things. You should still have these things. Promissory note, need a promissory note outlining the terms of the loan. But the promissory loan, is nothing without the mortgage. If you want like the iron suit, you want, the armor, you want to drive around in a tank, you want to be protected, then these are things that you're going to want to have. The less of these that you have, the more exposed you are. You might as well just start taking off armor, right? Personal guarantee. I always provide a personal guarantee on my loans. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that people don't. Someone the other day was like, yeah, this person wouldn't do a personal guarantee. And it's like, why? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. Why wouldn't they do a personal guarantee? If they're lending through their LLC, they should still provide a personal guarantee. It's your money that you're giving essentially to them. What do they have to be worried about? Right? It's your heart. It's your retirement. Ask for a personal guarantee. If they're not willing to just back the loan by their personal assets, then tell them to take a hike. Go find the money somewhere else. Lender's title policy, right? We want to have a lender's title insurance policy. I like to see a copy of the settlement statement. So see my name, the loan, everything there for you. are you going to be a first position or second position? And are you okay being second if that's the case, right? These are the questions you got to ask yourself. If the first loan is here, the second loan is here, we still want to make sure the value of the property is up here, right? And there's nothing wrong in lending second position as long as there's equity and you're lending to a good person, someone that's going to get the job done, right? Is the mortgage being recorded? Is there equity in the deal? And then one of the big things too to talk about, what's the plan? What's the plan for being updated on the progress of the project? One of the biggest complaints I hear from lenders and it is they don't communicate with the borrowers. Once the money's wired, it's like, okay, see, we'll call you when it's done. It's like, what? Who does things like that? What I would do is I would say, hey, how do you want to be updated? Do you want me to send you text messages? Do you want to have a folder where I upload pictures once a month? Like, what's the process? Let's figure this out in advance, right? And at the end of the day, my wife always tells me do what your gut's telling you, right? Do what the gut's telling you. It's okay to say no, right? It's okay to say no. All right, Chris says, got to jump off, but I will see you in Belmont, North Carolina. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to be in Belmont, North Carolina. Anybody around there? Next week, there's a Private Money Club members, Bob and Deidre. They have a meetup that they do in Belmont, North Carolina, and I'm going to go there and we're going to talk private money. So if you're in North Carolina, that would be super cool. Super cool to see you. All right, we got 7 minutes. Nick, let's get to the elevator. All right. So when I teach elevator pitches, and these are great conversation pieces that we're going to be covering here, right? So whenever I teach elevator to the accelerator, elevator to the accelerator, here's what I like to do. I like to think of this as floors. Okay. Think of these as floors. I don't like scripts. I hate scripts. You'll never see me give anyone a script, but what I will give you is framework. And then you kind of make it your own. And so one of the things that we practice every Thursday or try to every Thursday is this elevator pitch, being able to explain, communicate, articulate what it is, what private money lending is. So keep in mind, anytime you go to a different floor, like these are floors, what I would say, right? These are talking points. These are floors. It's not us that's pushing the button to learn more. It should be the person that you're talking to about becoming a lender. Should be pushing the button, right? Nothing is ever pushy. Nothing is ever salesy. When they want to and when they're ready to learn more, they should be requesting more information. That's how I teach it, right? Kind of different. It might take 3 seconds. It might take 3 minutes. It might take 3 years to get to the top, to get to a meeting with that person. But I'm never going to be the one that is pushing the button. Okay. So one of the things that I like to have people take a deep breath and realize before they start having conversations around all of this is that a lot of people don't know what a private money loan is. So if I was talking to someone, like, is there anyone on the call right now who has like a family member or a friend, and that person would be a great private money lender, but that person doesn't know it yet? Is there anybody on here that's like, yeah, that's me? I know someone. Do you know anyone that would make a great private money lender, but that person has no idea that this exists? Just type I do in the chat box. All right, cool. All right, Lynette says absolutely, absolutely, right? And Rebecca, that's a good question. She says, is it best to start with people I know, such as family or friends, for private money lending? I think that depends on your family and your friends. My wife and I went a long, long time before we ever did a deal with a family member or a friend. Well, I don't know. I should maybe not friend because we work with people and they're friends, but family is different, right? So it seems like family is the ultimate takeaway. Like, you got to be crushing business and then the family's got to come to you. Like, we're not necessarily going to the family and saying, hey, you should do this, that, or the other. Maybe your family is a little bit different, right? But that's why I would start with Private Money Club. You're all in the club. Everyone knows what it is. But if you are talking to a family member, this is what I would probably start to kind of explain to people, right? Instead of just saying, hey, how would you like to make a double-digit rate of return, have it secured by real estate? I might say, hey, have you ever, let me explain to you a little bit about how this works. Like, do you own the home that you live in? And they're probably going to say yes. Be like, all right, cool. When you bought your house, did you have a big stack of papers that you had to sign? They're going to say yes. I go, did you get a mortgage? They're going to say yes. And then you signed a promise to pay back the loan. They're going to say yes. And they're going to say, did you call your local State Farm agent and get your insurance set up on the property? And they're going to say yes. And you can tell them, hey, every single thing that you did to get the house that you live in, you provided the bank with a mortgage, you provided them by a signed promissory note, you got the insurance. We do that for you. So it's a loan secured by real estate, just like the bank, just like you did when you bought your house. And then you can start to see all of the light bulbs go off, and they're like, oh, okay, so I would be the bank. Bingo. Right. So once you show that anyone can do this, you don't have to be a Wells Fargo to lend money. The light bulbs start to go off and people start to get it. Right. And so now they're going to start asking, well, tell me about how much money? What are we talking about here? Like, what type of interest rate? And so you got to figure this out. And so for my lenders on the call, if you were doing an elevator pitch to lend your money, then you got to figure out how much you're going to charge. The borrowers, you got to figure out what you got to be able to paint the picture of what it looks like to work with you. So I would say, hey, we pay anywhere from 8 to 12% annualized interest. Each loan opportunity is unique. That's me. That's my business. Okay. So you got to figure out what your comfort level is and what that might look like for you. And then I would just be quiet. I would stop. And again, who's pushing the button to learn more? The borrower is. So the borrower is pushing the button. So usually when I say we pay 12% annualized interest, each loan opportunity is unique. I'll be quiet, and the next, they usually push the button right away, right? They want to learn more about this. Okay. So, and you got to keep in mind too, if you're paying someone 12% and it's a mortgage, most people would think that you are absolutely crazy, because we've been trained, our minds have been taught that 5% is high for a mortgage, 6% is high for a mortgage, right? With what the rates are and things like this. But this isn't your residential type of loan. This isn't a home buyer, right? Where these are short-term loans. These are riskier loans because the houses need work and things like this. So it's a different animal, right? But people don't they might get a little bit skeptical at first. Sometimes if you go too high with your interest rate, it might sound too good to be true, right? So one of the things I like to kind of release some of the pressure valve here with is just showing people that we use documents just like a bank would, right? So our attorney is going to, if they want help, they can draft a promissory note for them. We can provide them with a mortgage or a deed of trust. We can provide them with a personal guarantee. We're going to get insurance set up on the property in case there was a fire or something like that, right? So all of these things are things that we're doing. This isn't a handshake deal. This isn't, and you got to also keep in mind, lots of people have lent money to people before and never got paid back, right? Whether it was start a business or, help them get through a tough time or something like that, right? So everyone's lent money before. Not a lot of people have been paid back. So you got to let them know, hey, this is a business and we treat this like as such. So we do all of the right things, we get all the right documents, right? Things like this. And these are the core four. So there's more to it than this. Okay. Please know that there's more to it than this. But for conversation purposes, these are what I call the core four: promissory note, mortgage or deed of trust, personal guarantee, and the insurance. And then this gets people thinking. Now, what happens usually at this point here, they're going to have some more questions, right? I always like to say, all the documents are prepared and recorded by licensed professional. We use our attorney. We use Bell Carrington here in town. Emily Howard's our real estate attorney. She's awesome. I can introduce you to her if you want to learn more about it. And then I just stop talking. And then what happens anytime someone asks a question, well, tell me about this, or what about the houses that you buy, or did you just do that here, or is there a minimum amount, is there a maximum amount, what does this look like? Any question that a person has after this goes directly to schedule a meeting. Okay. The whole point of having an intriguing elevator pitch is to set up a time to talk about it more seriously. Right. So if you're talking to someone at a networking event, things like that, that's not the time to lay out what you do in a detailed business plan. Right. That's the time to set the appointment. So if someone wants to learn more, I say, well, I could hop on a Zoom call with you, or we could go grab a cup of coffee next week. What do you think? What day are you free? I'm setting the appointment. All right. I'm not going to go say, okay, get out your checkbook. Like, that's dumb. Right. So we're going to set the appointment, and we're going to do it the right way and take our time and build a good relationship. All right. Where else can a person get all the money that they need to build a real estate portfolio or to buy a fix and flip property without having to go to a bank? Right. Where else can a person make a nice double-digit rate of return and have it secured by real estate? Can you believe we've had 80 slides, Nick? 80 slides. Wow. That's just from doing these quick start webinars. So if I'm hopping around a little bit, I apologize. But here's what I would do. I would encourage everyone, make a move, right? Make a move, create your profile, schedule a blueprint, free PMC profile to get the ball rolling. Why wouldn't you do it? Schedule a blueprint. PMC certification courses are available. Get in there and take them. The next accelerator course is happening March 10th. The orientation's March 5th. It is February 20th. So get on it. Get on it. How many spots Nick, do you know how many there's? We're pretty close. We're pretty close to be. I know Christy's next mobile home course doesn't start till April, but right now she has 8 people enrolled in that class, which is really cool. I don't think there's ever been that many people this early before one of her classes starts. So I imagine the accelerator courses is probably a little bit more than that, being that it starts March 10th. So, all right, cool, guys. Well, with that being said, take action, right? Take action. I hope to see you in the club. If you are in Private Money Club, go ahead and give me a follow and I'll follow you back. Let's be friends. I love following everyone's adventures and their successes and their challenges. And if you need anything at all, reach out to me in PMC. All right. With that being said, I'm going to sign off. Happy investing, everybody. Take care. Take care.